I have been live this entire time. Well, I apologize to anyone watching there. Using some new software here. I guess I'll just have to edit this one after it. But what's everyone? My name is Everett DeLorme. It is currently Friday, February 12th. Obviously, at nighttime, got a new light. We'll see how it goes. But it's Friday, February 12th. Today was the drawing of the lots for the CEV Champions League, both the men's and the women's draw. I just put up an article on the website over at volleyballsource.ca. That's not the article. And I decided to jump on here just to kind of chat about what happened at the drawing of the lots today. It was kind of a crazy end to the Champions League group stage with the men's kind of coming down to the wire. Same thing happened a little bit last week too with the women's side. We're going to talk a little bit about that, a little bit of how some of the Canadians fared out, especially on the women's side. Both Alexa Gray and Kira Van Rijk really finishing their Champions League. Well, I mean, Alexa's still going, but Kira Van Rijk especially finishing her Champions League really strong with a 34-point performance against Savina Dalbene. That is a Canadian record in the Champions League for most points scored. 34 points for Kira Van Rijk, which is a huge change from in her first match of Champions League, where she ended up getting subbed out. And that first week of Champions League was really forgettable for Kira Van Rijk, and she really showed up big time in the second leg, even though it was kind of too late for her and her team. But we're going to talk a little about that, about the draw, about Alexa. Just a quick note. Well, not a quick note. We'll talk about it a little bit before. But Alexa finishing 6th in scoring on the women's side during the group stage of Champions League, leading her two matches in their final two, leading her team in scoring. In the final two matches. Which were huge for them. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, let's kind of just jump into the 4 quarterfinal teams. Let's do the men's here first, just because they're up here. We're going to see 4 teams from Italy. Italy absolutely dominating on the men's side. On the women's side, all of their teams moved on. But we see here Skra Belchatov against Zenit Kazan, Kucheni Lubek Civitanova against Zaksa Kazeshna-Kozhna, Berlin Recycling taking on Trentino, and then finally that all-Italian matchup between Modena and Perugia. A lot to get into here. Obviously, I think first and foremost you have to look at that Lubek Civitanova Zaksa Kazeshna-Kozhna as being the number 1 quarterfinal to watch on the men's side. Talked a little bit about it yesterday when I did that podcast with Rob. About how whoever was going to be getting Lube was really getting the short end of the stick, because they could very well be the best team in the world right now. And Zaksa, that's hard to see, right? It's hard to see for Zaksa, who, other than that one loss to Resovia, they've been pretty much perfect all year long. But instead, they get Lube in the first round of playoffs in the quarterfinals. Really, that's the short end of the stick. There's no way to say it. Lube is the Brooklyn Nets right now. Leal, Wantarena, Simone, De Checo, that is such a good team, and it's going to be very, very difficult to take them down. But then again, Zaksa has been so good all season as well, and I think we're really going to see, it's going to be an interesting matchup because it's 2 very different styles of play. You've got the very athletic, dominating, flowy style of the majoritarily, you got 3 Cubans and a South American setter for Lube Civitanova. They play creatively, they play fast, they play physical. While on the other side, you have the very controlled, very structured Zaksa Kazeshna-Kozhna, led by Paul Zatorsky, their libero, and Ben Tunuti, their setter. And those 2 really set the tone of how just calm they are in everything they do. Their block defense might be the best in the world, and it's going to have to be at peak if they're going to have a chance against Lube Civitanova. Of course, we know that not having fans in the crowd as well is probably going to affect Zaksa, because we know how important playing at home is for that club. But that's been the case all season long, so you can't really say anything. But still, that is going to be the banger of the matchup. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure if I think the other one to look at, if any, is going to be that Trentino-Berlin matchup, because I think that Ben Patch versus Namila Abdelaziz is going to be they're at least going to have one of the games where they're going shot for shot and toe to toe. And I said yesterday on the podcast, and I think I stand by this, that I think I honestly think Berlin could come in and steal a match. I think they can steal a match. We did talk about yesterday how they got in mostly because they didn't have to play just Weigel. And then the absence of Friedrichshafen just made it so Pool E, the pool that Trentino came out of, funny enough, was it was a bit of a mess. So Novosibirsk finished second in that pool at 3-3, so they're nowhere even near the playoff round. But I still think that Berlin has a bit of a chance. You've got Sergei Grankin there, and you have Ben Patch, so they can figure it out. Listening to the CEV show this morning with Dan Manili and Rob Sinclair, who was on the show yesterday as well, he talked about how Kevin Leroux has yet to suit up for Berlin and could be doing that and is available to do so in this matchup against Trentino. But we're really going to have to see how that goes down. But I think Berlin has a shot. For the other two semifinals, at that top one there, both Zenit Kazan and Skra Belchatov are two of the legendary clubs in volleyball, and I mean pretty much all of these clubs have some sort of status, right? It's a very prestigious Elite Eight here we have on the men's side, but both Zenit Kazan and Skra Belchatov have been struggling domestically, not doing as well. We're used to seeing them at the top of their standings, kind of flying through the season, and both of them are struggling quite a bit. Skra, of course, using their, I wouldn't say weaker pool, but I definitely thought Fenerbahce was going to be able to put up a bigger match, but Skra kind of has performed better at Champions League all year. And then on the other side, you've got Zenit Kazan, who was 7-1 or had a 1-7 record at one point in the Russian Superliga, and there was a lot of drama going on with that team, but it's kind of figured itself out. They looked really good last week. They picked up another win against Kuzbas recently in the Russian Superliga, so it looks like Zenit Kazan is starting to figure it out. And let's be honest, a Final Four without Zenit Kazan is just it seems weird. Skra, obviously, they've been there, but not at the same consistency as Zenit Kazan. And if you look at that roster too, they deserve to be there. Engapeth, Maxim Mikhailov, Volkov, Butko, the Alekno coaching still. It's still Zenit Kazan, and they're still that team. And you know what? I think even though they haven't been having the strongest season, they're still a medal threat. They could still go in and steal it and win it all. I'm still favoring, the two Italian teams, but Zenit Kazan they can still get in there. I think I'm going to pick Zenit Kazan in 2-0 in that one. Honestly, do we see another golden set for Kuchini Lube Civitanova? Maybe. Do we see another between them and Zaxa? Who knows? It could be. But I don't know. We'll really have to see. I think that, I think the way to beat Lube is to serve them really, really tough. If you look at the matches that they've lost this year, I think it was the same thing. But when they lost to Trentino, for sure, Trentino had 8 aces. Lube only passed 10% of their balls perfect. For whatever that means, would love to see a 3 scale implemented somewhere. But I mean, Europe doesn't really have the same relationship, I feel like, in volleyball with stats, or just sports stats in general, as North America does. So I think if Zaxa has the ability to up their serving game, and I mean they've got some guys who can really put the pressure on. I think, both with Kokanovsky has been doing a better job recently. And I think Slika as well too, but still, they're really going to have to put some pressure on if they want their block defense to work. But I do think that they're going to be able to potentially, I think they have the potential to take a set, and I think they have a bit of a lesser potential to win the match against Lube. But that kind of remains to be seen. Talked about it. I do think that Berlin has a chance, and unfortunately Modena, I don't think they have a shot against Perugia. Perugia, and the best player in the world that's a lot. Jumping over to the women's side here, Just if you want to go read the article, you're more than welcome to over the website, volleyballsource.ca. You can see here just kind of the breakdown. Got a nice little ad for God knows what down there. Is this like an Alibaba particle accelerator? Okay, well, we won't get into that. Um, we are going to jump over to the women's. No, that's the men's one again. Jump over here to the women's side of the draw, and once again, we are going to see four Italian teams. Let's go over these quarterfinal matchups real quick. Fenerbahce Istanbul is going to be taking on Gorgonzola Novara, and I mean, two heavyweight teams. Novara has been one of my favorite teams to watch all year with Haley Washington, Micah Hancock, Britt Herbots. They play with a lot of energy, and they look like they're having a lot of fun. So I really, really enjoy watching Novara play. They play very aggressively, and I think they're a dark horse, but maybe that's just me. Moving on to the second match, Salvino Labeni Scandici against the incomparable Conigliano. And I don't think they've lost a match yet this year featuring Paolo Ogonu. And she's averaging over 6 points a set right now, which is absolutely disgusting. Oh, let's see here. She's not one of the top scorers and on the women's side, but we're gonna have to pull that up, and you can't really see it here, but she only has 88 kills, but she's appeared in only 22 sets. Oh, that wasn't. No, sorry. She's only got 87 kills, but she's only appeared in 13 sets. But you can't really see. There we go, behind my head. She's averaging 6.69 points per set, which is absolutely disgusting. That is such a high clip, and no one is even close to her. We see a few in the fives. We see Tiana Bovskovic obviously playing for Iksabaji up there at close to 6, but no one's even coming close to 6 on the women's side. So if you have to, like, I don't think you can say anything other than Conigliano should be the favorite on the women's side. And Salvino Labeni, I think that they really benefited off of the poor start of Rezov, Skyrez, Kira Van Rijk's team, and if they had played their first, and if Scandici hadn't gone 3-0, which I think was pushing it for them, they wouldn't be here up against Conigliano in that all Italian derby there in the quarterfinals. I'm going Conigliano all the way. It shouldn't even be close. Down to the next one. This is where I think things can get very interesting, because Fenerbahce, yeah, very, very good team, but Vakufbank and Eksabaji, those are two teams that could legitimately push Conigliano, and basically we're setting it up for an all-Turkish semifinal and the other one with all-Italian, and I love it. I think that's going to be great. You know that Vakufbank and Eksabaji have some not bad blood, but that's one of the rivalries. They go toe-to-toe every year, whether it's Champions League, whether it's in the Sultan Liga in Turkey. And I mean, we're going to see another epic semifinal against them, most likely. Chemik Police from Poland, they are the only Polish team in the past few years to kind of make it into that playoff round, and they have been the other reigning Polish champs. They started very, very poorly earlier this season. We saw Skyrez just absolutely going off, but as of today, pretty much they've switched, because the Chemik Police just beat Skyrez 3-2 in the Polish Cup quarterfinals just today. And I mean, Chemik is here in the quarterfinals and Skyrez isn't. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can push Vakufbank, but I don't think they can. It's just too much quality on that Vakufbank roster, and I'm going to be interested to watch that one. I think it could be the most interesting of the quarterfinals on the women's side. The next one is going to be interesting as well. Busto Ostrizio is currently basically led by Alexa Gray. I mentioned it a little bit before. Sixth in scoring in the group stage in Champions League. So big ups to Alexa Gray. 104 points, averaging 4.33 points per set, which is absolutely massive. Kira Van Rijk, just to talk about her a little bit, talked about how she set a Canadian record for the Champions League with her 34-point performance against Scandici Dalbene, or Savino Dalbene Scandici. Someone's going to need to teach me what order we say these names, because depending where you look, it's all different. But as I mentioned, 34 points for Kiera Van Rijk in that last outing for her. 23rd in scoring overall in the Champions League with 82 points, but she averaged 4.82 points a set. So she actually averaged more points per set than Alexa Gray. But that first half of Champions League for Kiera Van Rijk was ugly. She did appear in every match in the first half, but she went from absolutely dominating the Tornliga and then, kind of disappeared. But at the same time, we're talking about a girl who's 22 years old, already in her second year of professional ball, and she's been dominating. So I can't wait to see what Kiera can come up with next. But at the same time, Alexa is definitely doing some good things. That whole Busto team really struggled from the beginning of the year, and they've really been picking it up recently. So it's going to be very interesting to see who can get the job done for them. Looking on to the semifinals, as we mentioned, is probably going to be the All-Italian semifinal on the one side and the All-Turkish semifinal on the other. Just to talk about the semifinals real quick and when they're going to go down. We don't know the actual dates yet because teams have to figure it out. But the first set of matches, the quarterfinals, are going to be going down the February 23rd to 25th, so in about 2 weeks' time. The second leg, because it's a home-and-home series, is going to be go down March 2nd and 4th. The semifinals we're going to see on March 16th through 18th, and then 23rd through 25th for the two legs, and with the superfinals happening on May 1st, only one match for the superfinals. You might be questioning yourself, how do we do a home-and-home series? What do we do if we tie? Well, in the event of the tie, we have what may be the greatest thing in volleyball, and that is the golden set. The golden set is one winner-takes-all set to 15. It's pretty simple, and it's pretty damn awesome. So if you haven't ever seen a golden set, it's fun. They're a lot of fun. And then that Saturday, May 1st, you're going to want to circle that one on your calendar, put a note in your phone. Whether you use Apple Calendar or Google Calendar or whatever you use, just put a little app in your notification in your phone for May 1st, because that is going to be one that you won't want to miss. And to be honest, I think that's going to be it. I'm not really going to talk too much about who I think is going to win. I'm going to sit on a little bit more, come at you again with another podcast about that. But there you have it. That is going to be your quarterfinals draw for the Champions League. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. If you want to read more, you can head over to the website. As I said, volleyballsource.ca. It's one of the top stories right now. Also, if you want to go, you can see there is a video there from the CEV top performance from Alexa Gray. It's only about a minute and a half long, so it's not the greatest. I was trying to upload Kiera Van Rijk's, all of her points from her game, but it's already been taken down. So I'm going to try to find trying to figure out how to get that for you guys. Maybe might just do a little bit of commentary over top of it, just to make sure that it doesn't get fully taken down again. But yeah, once again, guys, thank you very much for joining me tonight. My name is Everett DeLorme. If you have any questions, anything else, feel free to ask them in the comments. If you want to join our Discord chat, it's been growing every time I mention it in a podcast. We get two or three more people, and come in, join us. We literally got people from all over the world. Would love to have more women in the chat to represent that women's volleyball. But yeah, thanks.